Good evening, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2025 Southwest Night with the Legislators. My name is Carter Fong. I'm the Executive Director at the Dickinson Area Chamber of Commerce, and this event dates back to 1985. With that, it's kind of our Super Bowl 40, you could say. It's the first time we've been able to say that a Western North Dakota governor is part of the lineup. Thank you, Governor Kelly Armstrong. Good to see you. Governor Armstrong, you'll notice when you look at the lineup that you're not batting first in the order today. And that's because when I played for your Dickinson Rough Riders, I never got to bat leadoff either. But that's good coaching, because to our ag community, when you're told unhook the plow by your baseball coach, that means something a little different. It means you don't get to bat leadoff. Okay? We're so glad you're here. There are many familiar faces as I look around the room. These include many of our sponsors. Our proprietor sponsors include Apex Engineering, the City of Dickinson, the Roosevelt Custer Regional Council, and Consolidated. Today's program will be recorded on Consolidated and will be made available in Western North Dakota on their Channel 18 and on our Chamber YouTube channel. One name that might be new to you is the name of our presenting sponsor. At this time, I would like to welcome the COO of Cord Energy, Darren Hankey, to give us a welcome.
Thank you, Carter. Yes, my name is Darren Hankey, Chief Operating Officer for Cord Energy, and it is such an honor to be here this evening and to be the presenting sponsor of this evening's festivities. Thank you, Governor Armstrong and House Majority Leader Lefor for being here, as well as all the other legislators and all of the guests tonight. So we truly love the business climate here in North Dakota, and we're proud to be a part of the community and the oil and gas business here. So I wanted to spend a minute talking about Bakken oil production. We have just surpassed 5 billion barrels of oil production out of the Bakken. And I graduated college in 1989 and went to work for a company in Denver called Meridian Oil. And we were drilling horizontal wells the first time around in the early 90s here in North Dakota. And the first well that I recommended, the Demorest 2123H, was drilled in the fall of 1990. That well is still producing commercially today, nearly 35 years later. So what a great, and if you look at me close, I have my 5 billion barrel Bakken tie on. I've got the socks on, so it's right on. So I have not worked the Bakken since 1995, and then I joined Cord a little over a year ago, and it's probably my last hitch in my career. And it's great to be back working in North Dakota again, working on the Bakken a little differently today, how we do it versus how we did it 30 plus years ago, but love the partnership. So a few things about Cord. We are the largest producer in North Dakota. We make about 450,000 barrels of oil equivalent per day, day in, day out. We're the largest mineral owner, 1.3 million acres under leasehold. And last year, 2024, we invested right at $3 billion drilling wells, producing and operating wells in western North Dakota. So, and on top of that, we paid about $1.5 billion in 2024 in royalties and taxes here in the state of North Dakota. So we're a great partnership. It's all my company's about. So excited to be part of that partnership. You know, when you think about oil and gas, having an affordable, reliable supply of energy, it's the foundation of our way of life, of our country. And just partnering with North Dakota, it doesn't get any better than that in my mind. So in closing, I wanted to thank you for the partnership that we have together. I look forward to keeping North Dakota a business-friendly state. There's a brochure on the table. Hopefully you guys saw this brochure about Cord Energy, a few facts there. And there's also a little QR code that you can scan that is on your tables as well. And we just want to hear from you. It's about a 5-minute survey if you flash this up on your phone and let us know what we can do to be better stewards of our community and our business here in North Dakota. Carter, thank you for letting us be the presenting sponsor, and let's have a great evening. Thank you all.
On the note of scanning a QR code, the Chamber has that coming up as well. Part of our entertainment this evening, after we hear from Representative Lefor and Governor Armstrong, we are playing North Dakota trivia. And we are counting on at least one person at your table being tech savvy enough to log in, name your team, and play trivia in these 4 categories. Kelly Armstrong trivia, North Dakota athletics, North Dakota arts and entertainment, North Dakota current events. It's going to be a lot of fun. Showcasing the best that Southwest North Dakota has to offer. And in 2025, we are pleased that the House Majority Leader and the Governor are 2 of our own. Up first is Representative Mike Lefor. My dad knows him as the guy in a golf scramble who always putts first, and he never makes it, but he shows you a good line. Okay? The Greater North Dakota Chamber regards him as a chamber champion. And our community knows him as a great public servant for many years. Please welcome from Dickinson, the GOP House Majority Leader, Mike Lefor.
That's not entirely true. I do sync about once in a great while, but welcome to Southwest Night at the Legislature. This is always a very fun night for me. Welcome legislators, friends. It's so good to see so many of you coming here and seeing all the things that we have in the back, all the vendors and all the good people from Dickinson. I've talked to at least 20 of you, and it feels like I'm back at home right now. But so with that, I would say welcome, and also to thank you to Carter Fawn and all the good, hardworking people at Dickinson Chamber of Commerce. Let's give Carter a hand. He's out does such a nice job. Like all of you, I'm very proud to be from my part of the state, the southwest part of the state. I moved to Dickinson when I was 2 years old, and basically that's all I've ever known. And what a wonderful community. When I first moved there, it was like 9,000 people, and then 12,000, then 16,000. I think we're about 27 or 28,000 people, but you cannot, I'm biased obviously, but you cannot find friendlier people than you'll find in Dickinson, North Dakota. And you'll find hardworking people, you find great leaders all across the spectrum. Dickinson has a lot of people who are dedicated public servants that have worked really hard to make Dickinson a great place to live and raise a family. As I said before, I'm proud to be from Southwest North Dakota. We have a lot of great leaders from that part of the state, and including former Senate Majority Leader Rich Wardner. Rich, where are you? Why don't you stand up and be recognized, please? Rich was my mentor. He's the guy that asked me to run for the legislature, and so blame him if there's anything that you don't like about that, but he's a great inspiration to me. And he told me when I was a freshman, be glad that you're a freshman because nobody really gives a damn what you think. Because he was talking about, the additional duties of a majority leader. And so people say, well, Mike, what's it like being majority leader in North Dakota House of Representatives? I said, it's like being the head caretaker at a cemetery. Everybody's below you and nobody listens. So that's what I would say it equates to. So also Governor Kelly Armstrong. Hails from Dickinson, and it's going to be a little bit different working with Governor Armstrong versus Governor Bergen, both men who I have an enormous amount of respect for, but Governor Armstrong's going to be a little bit different because he called me today. He said, hey, do you have a few minutes to meet? I said, sure. He said, do you want me to come to your office or you can come to mine? Well, and he would absolutely do that because he came to my office a couple of weeks ago, sitting on the seating outside my office. I said, you here to see me? Yeah, let's talk. For a few minutes. Well, a few minutes became a half hour, then an hour and 15 minutes. I said, don't you have some governor stuff to do or anything like that? But we had a robust conversation about things that we're both passionate about. We're passionate about the people of the great state of North Dakota. We want to put it in the best possible position that we can. So that led to a very long conversation, a very enjoyable one. But if you ever go to visit Governor Armstrong, he knows you're on your way, he stands out there like the Walmart greeter. Said, come on in, come on in. That never happened before, trust me. That never happened before. And like I said, we're blessed to have so many great leaders from our part of the state. And I would really start by giving a tribute to the manufacturers that are in our community. From TMI, Dennis Johnson, Dean Rummel, Baker Boy. Now, I've been in Dickinson so long that I remember guys' parents, and they started Baker Boy in a very, very small building. And how proud that his dad or his parents would be of Guy and the business that Baker Boy is today. Just done an outstanding job. TMI is the same way, growing so many times over the years. Steffes Manufacturing, Kildare Mountain Manufacturing. KMM has won many awards from Boeing. They're one of their most preferred vendors in the country. And so they started a group called Manufacturers Roundtable. It started out by them wanting to help each other. How can we help each other's businesses grow? Then they expanded it to how can we help other businesses in our community grow? So if you wanted to go to the Manufacturers Roundtable, all you had to do was go there and share your views of how things are going in Dickinson. You can't find more open, honest, collaborative leadership than they provide in our community. They instill a sense of community and working hard together for mutual success. And that is, if I'm going to describe Dickinson, North Dakota to somebody, that's what leaders in Dickinson do. They do that in many other communities, but they really work hard together for mutual success. I don't care if it's city commission, county, school board, park district, the university, the hospital, whatever it is, they're all in there working hard together. Our region is also home to many in the energy sector, which has provided a lot of innovation, a lot of growth for our part of the state, agriculture, healthcare, educational outlets. Numerous small businesses have grown by leaps and bounds over the years. Earlier I mentioned former Senator Wardner and Governor Armstrong. They share a common bond. They're both coaches, former coaches. Wardner coached basketball and is known for giving inspirational speeches. During my first session of the legislature, and this is absolutely a true story, he called me at 11 o'clock at night, and I was half asleep on the couch watching Seinfeld like I did every night at that time. And I picked up the phone. He said, "All right, this is what you got to be ready for tomorrow. They're going to hit you with this and this and this. Your speech better be ready." I thought, what the hell? It's 11 o'clock at night. When do you sleep? He'd always be at the Capitol between 5:30 and 6 o'clock in the morning. Always being the coach, always being the inspiration. That's what you have in Dickinson, North Dakota. Many people have asked me, what's it going to be like working with Governor Armstrong? It's going to be easy because we have that relationship. It's going to be open, honest, transparent, agree, disagree, but he will know where I'm coming from and I will know exactly where he's coming from. It doesn't get any better than that. I've known the governor for many years. Our dads were great friends. And I know him as a baseball coach, lawyer, senator, businessman, chair of the Republican Party, governor, congressman, and now governor. And I'll tell you, both of these men operate on two speeds. One is full throttle and the other is sleep, and I don't know when they sleep. When the governor served in the Senate, he'd have these coffee mugs about this big, and I thought, that's the last thing this guy needs is caffeine. That's his natural personality, 100 miles an hour. I'm proud to know both these men. And proud of the things that I think we're going to be able to do to help Dickinson, or excuse me, North Dakota better than it is. He did work hard and he continues to work hard on behalf of our state. And I couldn't be prouder of his accomplishments and the great leadership he'll be providing to our state in the next several years. There are a lot of other great things happening in our part of the world. As you all know, the TR Library is just a year and a half away from opening. I attended the bean signing ceremony, and I can tell you that this is going to be something, a project that we can all be very, very proud of. The core values of the library are dare greatly, think boldly, live passionately, and care deeply, reflecting the views of our nation's 26th president. At the time, library CEO Ed O'Keefe made the following statements, and I quote, "Theodore Roosevelt came to the Dakota Territory in 1883 to hunt buffalo and left investing $14,000 in cattle and a ranch. Just a few months later, on February 14th, 1884, his wife, Alice Hathaway Lee, and his mother, Mittie Roosevelt, died on the same day. TR was devastated, writing famously in his diary, 'The light has gone out of my life.' Depressed, TR finished up his third term as a New York Assemblyman and fled to the Badlands in western North Dakota to mourn and recover. TR met people who were not like him. He learned the value of hard work worth doing. He sat under the stars, appreciated nature and loneliness in the vast open space. He lived the strenuous life, in doing so found a reason to go on living. TR, of course, said he would not have been president without his experience in North Dakota. Later, perhaps more significantly, he wrote that if all of his memories were to be taken from him, and he was forced to only have one memory from his incredible life, he would choose to remember his life on the ranch with the experience close to nature and the men he lived with. He did not choose the memory of Rough Rider, the charge up Kettle Hill. He did not recall McKinley's assassination, his rise from the vice presidency to the Oval Office. He did not pick the 1912 Bull Moose run for the presidency, the African safari, or the River of Doubt. He chose to remember North Dakota. And so North Dakota chooses to remember TR. Mr. Keefe goes on to state, the TR Presidential Library and Museum will not be a box in the Badlands with artifacts under glass. The TR Library, like his life, will be an experience, end quote. I asked the library executive director, Robbie Loff, if he would share a few bits of information with me that I could share with you tonight. He told me that construction broke ground in June 2023 and is now past the 50% mark. They've currently raised about $321 million, which is mind-boggling when you think about it, $321 million. The grand opening is planned for July 4th, 2026, the 250th anniversary of our country in partnership with the America 250 celebration. The library has a goal of 190,000 plus visitors in the first year post-opening, which I believe is both ambitious and achievable. Educational programming is a key aspect of the library. The TR Presidential Library will fall under three primary categories. Number one, education and leadership. Number two, conservation. And number three, civic discourse and engagement. Think about the unbelievable tourism corridor being created here, Mount Rushmore in South Dakota, the Presidential Library in Medora, and Yellowstone National Park, Glacier National Park in Montana. As I said, we are a blessed region for many reasons. However, this growth would not have been possible without the support of the leaders in this state, whether they serve the executive branch, the legislative branch, local political subdivisions, and other community leaders. Whether it's for funding for quality roads, quality water, educational opportunities, healthcare, and agriculture, things work best when we all work together. Further, the support of those in the private sector taking a risk, placing their businesses in this area. We're grateful for all the support we have received. Thank you for joining us tonight. It means a lot to us. Enjoy your night and good luck in trivia. But before I go, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce our next speaker, my friend and the 34th Governor of North Dakota, Kelly Armstrong.
Okay, looking out here, it feels like we should be on mountain time. I'm glad Mike gave such a good speech because I'm going to be a little more lighthearted because for those that don't necessarily know, I grew up in Dickinson, left for a little bit for college, came back, and then moved to Bismarck in the middle of COVID for one reason and one reason only, because I needed to be 8 minutes away from the airport instead of 100 miles with a time change. And with all due respect to my new current hometown, I miss Dickinson every day. I still do my accounting there, my banking there, my doctoring there. My dentist got so mad at me for driving out to Dickinson to get my teeth cleaned, he told me he's gonna quit doing it. And I thought it was like really insulting, but then I found out he's retiring, so I think that made a little more sense. And but the fun part about this to me, first of all, we were in a baseball game one time, and you want to talk about leadoff hitting. Carter was on first, and there was a pass ball, and the catcher, on the way back to pick it up, fell down, broke his ankle, and hopped to second base and still take Carter out. So there's slow, which is what I was when I played baseball, and then there was Carter Fong slow. But that's not the cool part about it. The best job I ever had was coaching American Legion baseball. Serving North Dakota in Congress and being the 34th governor is the greatest privilege of my life, but the best job I ever had was coaching baseball. But the coolest part about it was when my kids came back and coached. I was your first boss, wasn't I? Carter was my JV coach when we were running the by the way, the worst job I ever had was being the volunteer president of the baseball club. That's not for everybody. Although it does, if you can deal with youth sports parents, you can deal with Congress, so that was helpful. But that, I think, is what we spend a lot of time, and we appreciate everybody who invests in North Dakota and makes North Dakota home. And there are real reasons why different places succeed and different places don't. And you know, I have a different, I always like a different Teddy Roosevelt quote, and it's in July 4th of 1886, he gave a speech in Dickinson. And the whole speech is really good, but the front end of it is, I like big things. And if anybody's ever seen Teddy Roosevelt talk about big mountains, big fields, big all of this, the line in the speech that I remember is, I like big things. The thing is, you can only get big things if you do the small things right. You know this as a coach. Field routine ground balls, throw them to first base. And then you put yourself in a position to make that backhand play in the hole and save an inning or save a game or save a season. But that's not where you win and lose 90% of your games. You win and lose 90% of your games by doing the small things right. And then the big things come. And the big thing for us was the oil boom. But one of the reasons Dickinson was in such a better position than everybody else in the area to deal with that is because we did the small things right. It wasn't oil companies who did it. Same companies you talked about. It was Baker Boy, it was TMI. It was the city commission that fought against people that said no to everything. One of the reasons we got the first oil companies that decided to come into Dickinson is because we built a rec center. And we could have listened to the people who said no. Our leaders could have said, no, you can't spend money on anything. You can't do anything. Somehow in this plan and how we deal with it, we figured out how to do it. And we figured out, and by the way, I wasn't there yet. I was just trying to start a law practice, trying to raise a family. But we had forward-thinking people in Dickinson, in Stark County, in southwest North Dakota that said, no, we're not going to not do anything. And you can talk to companies that started. I mean, Dickinson, you go up the Partial, you go up the Anacline, Dickinson wasn't necessarily the most convenient place. But if you're trying to move people from Houston or from Oklahoma City into the middle of a place where they've never been, then they look at a temperature gauge in February and they're like, how do you live there? What do you want to offer? You want to be able to offer them a community, and you want to offer them things where they can say, we can raise a family here, we can do that. And we put ourselves in the best position possible as a community and the best position possible as a region because we made some of those choices before 2008, before 2009, before we knew 100 out of 100 wells were going to hit. I mean, that had never happened before. And we had Cedar Hills, and we had Bowman, and we had Southwest North Dakota. We had all of that. But what we had in Western North Dakota were people in the communities that worked really hard to maintain their communities. And so what happened next? People have been trying to scratch a living out of that dirt for 3 generations. Now, all of a sudden, didn't have to worry about it anymore. It wasn't, I mean, there's small oil field service guys that ended up selling their companies for $100 million. There's guys ranching and farming in Western North Dakota that now all of a sudden had royalty rights under Whiting or Oasis and now Cord and EOG and Continental. And all of a sudden, we created this generational wealth from areas, whether it's Watford or Belfield or Medora or Williston or Bowman. And now all of a sudden, you have a place that was scratching just to tread water for my entire life. And now we've created a place where every single kid who lives there can stay there. Every kid who graduates from high school can get a job there. I mean, I look at Jason and I look at my age and I look at the generational gap. We don't have a lot of people between, we have a lot of people that have served our community in really meaningful ways, but there's an entire talent gap, and for a period of time, there wasn't really any opportunity there. And so we have to continue to drive that and move it forward, and we got to remember that for as great as everything is, we're still a commodity-based economy. We still thrive on ag and energy. We're as diverse as we've ever been. I mean, I'm glad you mentioned Killdeer Mountain Manufacturing. I lived in Dickinson my whole life. I didn't know what they do. I wasn't their customer. I didn't own Boeing. But that is a company that supports everything that happens in Western North Dakota without ever being asked and without ever doing those things. And they just do it because they belong to the community. They want the community to survive. My favorite memory of all of this stuff, I was on the volunteer fire department and was president of the baseball club when the tornado hit in Dickinson. And I remember calling around trying to get a backstop built for my JV team, for my JV field, so we could actually hold the tournament we were supposed to hold in 2 days, because we needed to be able to build up and move on. It took like 3 calls. And call Fisher Industry, call Two's Construction. Within 48 hours, the damn thing was built. Like, I don't know where else you can do that, but I know for a fact you can do it in Dickinson. It was really cool to represent those people when I was in the state legislature. It was really cool to represent you all when I was in Congress. And it's really cool to be home and be the 34th governor of North Dakota. And I appreciate the service of every legislator in the room, but I really do, sheriff, law enforcement, county commissioners, city commissioners. I always used to tell city commissioners and county commissioners, you guys have the toughest job. Because in politics, in partisan politics, whether it's at the legislative level or at the congressional level, most of your big fights are partisan, right? Like, most of your big fights are partisan. So you got the red team and the blue team, you get into your bunkers, you have the fight, and all of a sudden they're mad at you on MSNBC or CNN. Turns out that's not really a detriment when you're in North Dakota, it's a benefit. But if you're really good at being a city commissioner or county commissioner, every tough decision you make legitimately pisses off 50% of the people. The problem is it's not the same 50% all the time. So sooner or later, if you do it long enough and you're good enough at it, everybody's mad at you. But if you don't do your jobs well, it's harder for us to do ours. And local control only works if you have good locals you're ceding the control to. And we have done a really good job in good times and in bad in Western North Dakota to do those things. And it's because of the people of this room. And sometimes you stumble in and get Paul Claris on the county commission, so you gotta all make up for him. But Paul didn't need to run. I mean, Paul just got done, his kids got done in high school, he's got a great job, he likes to hunt, he likes to fish. He didn't need to run for the county commission. There's no glory in it. I'm sure you're not in it for the paycheck. But those are the types of people that do this stuff. And then all of a sudden we want some crank to say we're gonna recall him. Never mind, we're not gonna have anybody to run against you in a recall. Like, literally the dumbest thing that's ever happened in politics. And I've been in DC for 6 years, so I've seen some really dumb things. And we have a bunch of people that want to sit on the sidelines and poke fun and do comments. So my challenge to everybody who's not in that, Stand up. Like, you go about, live your lives, do your thing, coach your kids' team, do all of that. But feel free to engage and defend the people that are trying to make your community a better place. Nobody's doing these jobs because they're getting famous for it. Nobody's doing these. You don't even have to. One of the things that always bothered me, particularly during that, like, if you want to get really mad and angry, fire at me. Fire at Julie. Fire at John Hoven. Fire at Kevin Kirby. We have entire staffs that can deal with your complaints. Like, and by the way, if you are not if you are not tough enough to engage in partisan politics at that level and take criticism, founded or unfounded, you are in the wrong line of work. But I got a better idea. If you're mad at your school board commissioner in Bowman or Beach or Dickinson or Watford or Wilson, instead of spouting off on Facebook, how about you walk across the street and knock on their door? I guarantee you they'll talk to you. And I guarantee you they'll have a reason for why they're doing something you disagree with. And at the end of the conversation, they're not even necessarily asking that you agree with them. They're asking that maybe you give them the consideration that they've thought about this and that they're trying to do what's best for the community at large. You don't have to agree with them all the time. You're not supposed to. But my biggest concern with everything that is engaged in politics right now is we take the national rhetoric and we take the ability to sit behind a keyboard and say whatever you want, and we bring that into our local level. Because local control only works if good local people run for office. One of my favorite elections I've ever been a part of is I was voting in Dickinson, and there were 3 city commissioners I wanted to vote for, and I could only vote for 2. That doesn't happen very often in our local elections. And it sucked for the one I didn't vote for, although I think he won anyway. But the fact that you get to walk into a city commission meeting in Dickinson and really want to vote for 3 people and only get to vote for 2 is a good thing for your community. It's a good thing for that city commission. It's a good thing for that. But the more we allow the national stupid rhetoric to engage in those local types of races, the less likely we are to have good people to run. And if we don't have good people running, then we're not going to have good decisions made at the city level, the school board level, the park board level, the county level. And that is going to bleed over into what we do what you all do at the legislative level. And it's a really, really bad way to run a rodeo. Every single one of those positions that people are running for. Nobody gets famous on the weed board. like Southwest Water Commission isn't where you're all of a sudden now on MSNBC or CNN or Fox News at 7 p.m. at night. But all of those things are really important for not only the current status of each and every one of those communities, but for the future of North Dakota. So I'll leave you with this, because I got to meet with my old freshman football coach and former majority leader, Rich Wardner, this morning. And it reminds me of a story when I was in the legislature. And I don't know if I am full throttle or asleep, but I know Rich is. And we were in one of these things at the end of session, and we were fighting with the House and the Senate, and Rich was giving the Senate caucus an incredibly motivational speech, and he was on a roll. And part of the end of this was there was a fight about a driving range for the highway patrol. And he's up there and he's going nuts. And he's like, and we're going to get that driving range for the highway patrol, and we're going to get it, and we don't care what Al Carlson says, and we're going to stay here all 81 days, and we're going to get the driving range. And I raised my hand in the back, and Rich called on me because he shouldn't have. And I just said, because it was really fired up and it was getting pretty tense, and I just asked him, I said, no, this is for squad cars and not golf, right? I go, because if we're building a golf range for the highway patrol, I'm going to have a hard time explaining that to my constituents. And Rich stares at me like I have 3 heads, and I just said the dumbest thing in the entire world, and the entire caucus gets really quiet, and then the whole place started laughing. And so I tell that story because he was so passionate, and there are a lot of reasons why I'm successful, and a lot of the reasons I'm successful at this have a lot to do with a lot of people in this room. But also, just to let you all know, and I mean this with all sincerity, I take this job very seriously, but I will never take myself too seriously. Thank you all for and I think I have to read trivia about myself? Proof positive that I don't take myself too seriously. And don't forget your chamber president either.
Yeah, in the name of being a good sport and reading some trivia, we need you in about 2 minutes. Here's what I need to happen in these 2 minutes. If you've got a table captain comfortable with technology to scan a QR code, that's going to go up real soon. Lady Jays has patiently waited to give you an opportunity at last call. If you want to get to them, make it happen now. We'll be back in a couple minutes for Kelly Armstrong trivia. We think the remainder of your evening will be a lot of fun. We hope you stick around. I'm glad we've got some DSU students who can handle the technology. You're in? All right, folks, here we go. I'm a former social studies teacher. We aim for this evening to be both entertaining and educational. We're about to play an interactive North Dakota trivia contest where Southwesterners might have a slight edge, but all are welcome to play. You can compete as an individual, as a table of 8, or anywhere in between. Team captains use the QR code to log in. Come up with an appropriate name for your team entry. That's something I would have to tell a high school group. I think we're okay here. If our technology has hiccups, we're going to plow through. If our technology crashes, we have a paper pencil backup, but I hope we don't need it. Okay? There will be 4 categories. The first category is Kelly Armstrong trivia, and Kelly Armstrong will read the questions. Second category is North Dakota Arts and Entertainment. Reading the questions will be Mari Ascari, the president of the Trinity Catholic Schools and a member of the Chamber Board of Directors. Our third category is North Dakota History and Current Events. Dr. Marcus Luton, superintendent of Dickinson Public Schools, will read those questions. Last but not least is North Dakota Athletics. Deanne Sheeler will read the question. She is, again, from Trinity and a member of the Chamber Board of Directors. There will be prizes for at least the top 3 scores. And at this time, let's call upon Governor Kelly Armstrong to come back and read Kelly Armstrong trivia.
I have no idea what these are.
This will be tough for him. Okay. No, you'll do fine here, but you read the question. I will guide the PowerPoint. Do not give them the answer. There will be a time limit.
Okay.
You are awarded points for a correct answer and then how quickly you get in with that answer. You're a former attorney, but you cannot litigate each and every question and its correct answer.
Okay.
Okay? Do your best.
Do we
Good
care if
luck.
there's not a correct answer?
All
right. As a high school senior, Kelly Armstrong wrestled in what weight division? You're going to have to guesstimate because none of those were actual weight classes when I was a high school senior. Oh, that's a great picture. Thanks for that. That is correct. I weighed 163 pounds the first day of wrestling practice. I got elected captain, and the only place I could make the team was 130. It was a tough couple weeks. Which Norwegian cuisine was served at the Armstrong wedding? A. Lutefisk, B. Lefse, C. Reindeer, D. Gas station hot dogs. The correct answer was reindeer. That is correct. Who was Kelly Armstrong's high school chemistry teacher? Rich Wardner, Jack Stewart, Dave Michelson, or Roger Stone? Side note, Kelly Kuzi was a substitute chemistry teacher one day, and I think we made her cry, and she's still mad at me for it. Armstrong was Dickinson's assistant Legion baseball coach in 1999. Who was the head coach? John Barbier, Jay Schobinger, Pete Leno, or Pete Dobitz? Pete Leno is the correct answer. Where is Pete? Taught me everything I know about swearing. Number 5, Kelly Armstrong has served on which of the following boards? North Dakota Petroleum Council, Prairie Public Broadcast Network, Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library, or all of the above? Correct. And she does all that while being a single mom about 2/3 of the time. So, all right, number 6. From his college days, all 5 years of it, Kelly Armstrong was a member of which fraternity? Sigma Chi, Alpha Sigma Phi, Lambda Chi Alpha, or Pi Kappa Alpha? Correct, Sigma Chi. Who is my favorite Major League Baseball team? The New York Yankees, the New York Mets, the Boston Red Sox, or the Minnesota Twins? It is the New York Mets, and I've been suffering. I was 10 years old in 1986, guys. It was a really, really fun year to watch the Mets. It was also the last time they were fun to watch. Which of the following items did I once accept in lieu of payment for my services as a criminal defense attorney? A motorcycle, a golf cart, a fishing rod, or a grill? You think the picture might give it away? All right, I do have to tell a story because I don't ride motorcycles, so I tried to sell it, and I did sell it. And I go into the DOT to do the sale, and I sold it way below market value, and the lady at the DOT in Dickinson is like, well, you have to pay taxes on more than that. I'm like, it wasn't worth what I was owed in legal fees. So I get in this huge fight with the lady at the DOT, and I'm like, call Ryan Rauschenberger. I'm like, you're making me pay taxes on a loss here. I'm like, I'm fascinated. I ended up having to pay the taxes. He was not helpful. All right, U.S. Representative Armstrong had which of the following caucus assignments in Washington? The Fire Service Caucus, the Sportsman's Caucus, the Caucus on Youth Sports, or all of the above? That is correct. Thank you all.
Okay, since Kelly is from Dickinson, as you can imagine, there were a number of questions that didn't make the cut. A few of them were true-false questions. We really had to narrow this down, Kelly, to just a few. And so these won't be part of your Kahoot, but I'd like to have a show of hands with the true-false questions, okay? So we'll go through just a few just to get you warmed up if you felt like the first round wasn't quite for you. So, true or false? Kelly has been known to catch large bull snakes with his bare hands. Raise your hands if you think that's true. Raise your hands if you think it's false. I'm going to see just the high. Oh, we have a number of unsures then. Okay, well, if you raise your hand, it is true. The man's a lunatic. Okay, so next, true or false? Kelly has been known to chase and taunt others with said bull snakes. True or false? True. Last one, true or false? Kelly's diverse musical tastes include an appreciation or taste for meatloaf. True or false? Raise your hand if it's true. Yes, very true. Kelly, you have a lot of fun material. You've lived a good life. What's that? Yes, yes. Do you still remember it? It was a fun. It was fantastic. Okay, well, I get arts and entertainment because Kelly, you're so entertaining. It's nice to be able to follow up those fun questions with some entertainment. Okay, first question. Which country artist performed at Four Bears Event Center at their 2000 opening and 2016 reopening? A. Brad Paisley, B. Sawyer Brown, C. Martina McBride, or D. Toby Keith? Correct answer, Toby Keith. Show of hands if you were there. Anyone there? Hey, Alicia, I knew you had to be. She loves Toby Keith. Okay, question 2. Tiger Lily is a country music duo from Hazen, comprised of 2 Slaybaugh sisters. What are their first names? Are they A, Kathy and Kelly, B, Kendra and Krista, C, Kaylee and Kelsey, or D, Katie and Kristen? Nicely done. Kendra and Krista. Show of hands if you saw them in Dickinson when they were like 14 years old for DSU. Yes. Yeah, I recognize a few from being there. Okay, now 3. Which performer holds the record for the highest concert attendance in the history of the Fargo Dome? Single performance, highest attendance at the Fargo Dome. Is it Pink, Garth Brooks, Paul McCartney, or Justin Timberlake? Correct answer is Pink. Show of hands, who was at the Pink show? Hey, a few of you. Okay, question number 4. According to the Theodore Roosevelt Medora Foundation, what is the capacity of the Medora Amphitheater? Is it 2,100, 2,800, 3,500, or 4,200? Correct answer, 2,800. A lot of ahs in the room. Okay, arts and entertainment continues with question 5. The next sculpture on the Enchanted Highway will pair Sir Albert with a dragon. How long is the dragon? Is it approximately 50 feet, 75 feet, 100 feet, or 125 feet long? Correct answer is 100 feet approximately. Question number 6. Name the actress born in Culm, North Dakota, who appeared in the original Ocean's 11 movie in 1960. Was that Peggy Lee, Angie Dickinson, Dorothy Stickney, or Lynn Anderson? Angie Dickinson. Hey, Dickinson table gets it too. Good job. Question number 7. In the early 2000s, actor Josh Duhamel played the role of Leo in what network soap opera? All My Children, The Young and the Restless, Days of Our Lives, or General Hospital? Like sands through the hourglass, there go your points. It is All My Children. Good job to those who selected A. Question 8. This summer will mark the what anniversary of the Medora musical? Will it be the 50th anniversary, the 60th anniversary, 70th, or 80th? This summer, big anniversary. Which one is it? Wow, great job, room. You know this. 60th anniversary. Next question. Kat Perkins advanced to the semifinals on The Voice in season 2014. Who did she choose as her coach on the show? Was it CeeLo Green, Christina Aguilera, Blake Shelton, or Adam Levine? Who was Kat Perkins' coach on the 2014 season of The Voice? Adam Levine it was. Thank you for your participation in Arts and Entertainment. If this wasn't your category, there's another one coming. Dr. Luton, come on up.
Oh, it's rigged. I'm famous. I played baseball with the better Armstrong brother, Mitch. Yeah. I get to do history and current event categories. The first question, former Governor Burgum will serve in what position in President Trump's cabinet? A, energy, B, agriculture, C, transportation, or D, the interior? All right, interior, good job. People have been watching the news. Second question, which president signed North Dakota and South Dakota into statehood on November 2nd, 1889? William Henry Harrison, Benjamin Harrison, Grover Cleveland, or William McKinley? Famous for doing the shuffle with the papers. Correct, Benjamin Harrison. All right, question 3. Uh-oh. Warren Christopher of Scranton, southwest North Dakota, served President Clinton from 1993 to 1997 in what cabinet position? Agriculture, defense, state, or transportation? Secretary of State. Question number 4. As of 2024, 50 North Dakotans have received the Theodore Roosevelt Rough Rider Award. Who was the first one? A, Lawrence Welk, B, Dorothy Stickney, C, Roger Maris, D, Eric Sebright. This person used to wear a blue blazer, much like Ty's wearing right now. All right, Lawrence Welk, Bubbles. Bubbles. Number 5. Prior to statehood, the capital of Dakota Territory moved to Bismarck from which city in South Dakota? A, Pierre, B, Sioux Falls, C, Aberdeen, and D, Yankton. Yeah, Yankton. Question number 6. Who was the first woman to hold the office of U.S. Senator from the state of North Dakota? A, Julie Fedorchuk, B, Heidi Heitkamp, C, Josie Burdick, D, Sarah Vogel. Yeah, Jocelyn Burdick when Quentin passed away for about a month, I believe. Number 7. Today, Cord Energy is the largest E&P company in North Dakota, operating nearly blank number of wells. If you read this stuff on your table, you might know this. Yeah, nearly 5,000 wells. That's a lot. All right, question 8. What is the name of Roosevelt Custer Regional Council's Talent, Attraction, and Economic Development Campaign? That's a mouthful. Find the Good Life, Wide Open Wonder, Hello North Dakota, or Where the West Begins. Correct, blue, Wide Open Wonder. Question 9, and the last in the history category. What is the name of the North Dakota Department of Tourism's new campaign as of January 2025? Find the Good Life, Wide Open Wonder, Hello North Dakota, or Where the West Begins. Correct. Yellow North Dakota. All right.
All right, this is for all of it right here. Oh, I gotta switch the page. All right. First question, athletics. How many former NDSU quarterbacks were on NFL rosters in 2024? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Three. Next question, Katie Ledecky is America's most decorated female Olympic athlete. Where does Katie's grandmother live? Williston, Watford City, Bowman, or Minot? Williston is the correct answer. Question 3. UND's Ralph Engelstad Arena for hockey opened in what year? 1999, 2001, 2003, or 2005? They seem so easy, right? (2001). As of 2023, what is North Dakota's official sport? Is it rodeo, curling, hunting, or fishing? Curling. Which of these Southwest North Dakota high schools advanced to the State B Boys Basketball Tournament most recently? The Halliday Wolverines, the Regent Rangers, the Rame Pirates, or the Scranton Miners? Most recently. Scranton Miners. Which of the following will be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 2025? 2 are correct, and you need to get that's all correct or none correct. Jim Kleinsasser of Carrington, Weston Dressler of Bismarck, Greg Esslinger, Bismarck, Darren Erstad, Jamestown. Gotta get both. A and C. In 2016, Riley Newdell broke the career Class B girls basketball scoring record previously held by Christy Waldall of Beach, Stacy Schorsch of Richardson Taylor, Tanya Fisher of Bowman, or Darcy Schmeling of Southhart. Tanya Fisher. Number 8. North Dakota's Virgil Hill was a world champion boxer who was 30-0 until he was defeated by Roy Jones Jr., Roberto Duran, Darius Michalczewski, or Thomas Hearns. It's tricky. Carter's tricky, guys. He beat him first. All right, the final question. Hettinger defeated Regent 4-2 in a 1992 district boys basketball tournament. All of the following were participants except John Butterfield as coach of Hettinger, Kurt Honeyman as coach of Regent, Rod Kleingen of KDIX Radio play-by-play, or Ken Keller of Dickinson Trinity as referee. Rod was not part of it.
We hope you had fun in Mr. Fong's classroom with a little help. How about a hand for those who read the questions? I have a prize for top 4. Where was 4th? That one kind of disappeared off the screen. 4th place, we've got, I think, let's see. You are the CVB, so I'm going to give you not the CVB's gift. I'm going to give you an Enchanted Highway sweatshirt. Send somebody forward. How about that? It is Stark Development and the Dickinson CVB. Come on down. 3rd place, where are you? Okay, there we go. What was the name of your team? Lefty's right, and we've got good representation from across the state here. This is a gift from the Dickinson CVB. Why don't you send somebody to receive your 3rd place prize? Thank you. Thank you, State of North Dakota, for playing. Second place, where are you? Good. Charmstrong, is that the clever team name you were going for here? Second place will be a general admission to a Badlands Big Sticks game. We'll put a package together for those at your table. Why don't you come forward and accept my business card to email me to line that up in summer 2025. Thank you. And first place, where are you at? Okay, and the team name was? Low Expectations has the highest expectations. They are your trivia winner. VIP at the Big Sticks. Send somebody this way, please. This event has a 40-year history. We've drawn 200 to 250 consistently. We're so grateful you joined us. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Cord Energy. Thank you for coming. We hope to see you very soon. Have a great evening. Travel safely, everyone, and we'll see you next time.